So I arrived in Vietnam in June of 1967. It was quite an experience being in a strange country like that, very, very hot. Then you eventually get into the monsoon season where you rain, 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 mosquitoes, and I've seen my fair share of rats. Where I was stationed, located at in Vietnam, it was not, you couldn't get there by road. You either got off of there or to there by helicopter. Even our Jeep that we had to have up on top of the mountain was brought in by Chinook helicopter. Just drive into the back of the helicopter, they take and drop you off. Well, the day did come when I received a radio transmission from my commanding officer that there would be a Chinook helicopter there to pick us up 9 o'clock the next morning. And I remember asking him, well, where are we going? He said, I can't tell you where you're going. He said, it's a secret. He said, basically what he told me was, if I tell you, then you tell this guy over here, he tells someone else, and it just keeps right on going. For security reasons, we can't tell you where you're going. But he said, we're going to have a helicopter there to pick you up at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. At that point, the helicopter would drop us off on the main highway, and we were supposed to meet at a certain location that I was aware of. We were supposed to meet and join in with a convoy. And I met there, and we all organized as a convoy, and we started heading north. And there was probably all total, I'm going to say 100 to 125 soldiers, American soldiers in that group. We were told to get prepared for the night, to dig our foxholes, which we did. It was rather rough digging. Everybody went to sleep that night. On the searchlight that myself and my partner worked on, we took turns providing security at night while everyone else slept. And he was on duty that one night, the first night we were there, and he, about 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, he come in and woke me up. And he said, using the infrared searchlight while he was on duty, he said, I was in charge, he said he had spotted activity outside our perimeter where there should not have been any activity. So the next night, the very next night, once again, it just happened that he was on duty again, and he come in and he woke me up again. He said, they're back. I said, okay. Once again, I went out to verify it, and sure enough, we seen activity out there. In fact, the group that I happened to have observed, there was probably 4 or 5 North Vietnamese soldiers out there, and they were setting up mortar rounds. They were getting ready for an attack. And by the time I could get my equipment on and get ready for battle, they had already started to shower us heavily with mortar rounds. I looked out to the Jeep where this friend of mine was at, and one of the mortar rounds, our Jeep had taken a direct hit. With one of the mortar rounds, and the Jeep was on fire. But I only got about halfway out there, and one of those mortar rounds went off fairly close to me, and a piece of the shrapnel caught me in the back. So I turned around and went back to my bunker, at which point I got my M16 rifle, and I put it on automatic with 20 rounds in it, and I just fired it, raised up out of my bunker and fired it into the direction that I had last seen him. Of course, at that point, I was not using any night vision goggles. I could only guess at where I had last seen him. And I put my rifle on automatic and sprayed that area with 20 rounds of ammunition. I immediately took my empty clip out. I grabbed another 20-round clip, put it into my rifle. That's when they threw a hand grenade in on me, and I never got another round off. But there was the other guy that was in the foxhole with me, but the hand grenade apparently landed just in such a manner that it appeared as though I took the big impact on the hand grenade. I can remember this tremendous roaring in my ears from the explosion of that hand grenade being so close. And I later learned that I was actually unconscious. They told me for 5 days I was unconscious. But upon the arrival of the medevac helicopters, he related this story to me. He said when the medevac helicopters first got there, they were not showing any interest in me and were not immediately wanting to attend to my injuries. I was lying there, as I can picture it, pretty much covered in blood. I was lying there unconscious, and he said he felt like they thought that I was dead and that they couldn't do me any good. He told me that in his frustration with them, that he took his M16 rifle and ordered them to come over and have a look at me. And they got me on a helicopter and evacuated me to a field hospital in Viet Nam, much like what you might see on MASH, which is where I came to after I had been unconscious for 5 days. My experiences has not changed my view of war. I don't like war. None of us do. But I do enjoy my freedom. And without the sacrifices that we sometimes have to make, I do not feel we would enjoy the freedom that we have today. So although none of us like war, it sometimes comes to that. We don't always agree with the way things are done, but we would not enjoy the freedoms we have today if it weren't for some of the things we've had to do. Today, I appreciate the things I have. I still love my country. If you look in my front yard, you're going to see the American flag flying. I'm very proud of that flag. And it will always fly in my front yard. I don't regret my time served in Vietnam. I consider myself to be a very lucky, fortunate person. Despite some of the injuries I received in Vietnam, there's a number of soldiers who came back in much worse shape than I did, and those that didn't return at all. So I have no regrets of being sent to Vietnam, and I'm very proud today to have served my country.